What did you do in router?
The router snap routes the batches into two different
Good morning, sir.
destinations. So after using JSON splitter,
Can you open router? Okay.
then I use JSON splitter to
Can
convert the data into flatten.
can you open JSON splitter? Mm-hmm.
Then I use CSV formatter
Mm-hmm.
to convert the data. Then I use file writer.
Yeah. Okay.
So here
Uh,
are two
just,
files.
just a second. Anurag, can you go on mute? Yeah. That's okay, Shashank. So now go to designer once. So you have done it for 50 records in a file, right?
Yeah, right.
So what if to the pipeline I upload it? I don't want to change any code, and I have uploaded 100 records file. Will it be equal two equal batches?
No.
Okay. So my requirement is whenever there is a file change or anything, I don't want to change the code, but instead it has to split it out.
Okay.
Yeah. Instead it has to be split it out equally.
Okay.
And this is fine. I mean, this will just work for 50 records file. That's it. So the customer file or the file coming up from source will not be have 50 records every time, right? Even in
Right.
customer requirement. So if that is so, our solution should be generic. Like whatever the number of set of records that we are gonna give, it should equally split. Correct?
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
I will try.
Yeah, it's a good try. No worries. It will work for 50 records, but you just need to explore or maybe just enhance the solution to work it for every other set as well.
Okay.
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 Yeah. Thank you. You can stop your sharing. Sushmita,
Yes.
yeah, share your screen. Can you share your screen?
Yes, sir. Well, I have read a file containing a 50 number.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so we are dividing into two batches. So I
Mm-hmm.
have taken 25 number
Mm-hmm.
and I have taken a mapper so that we can count the number of batches.
Mm-hmm.
From that, I have taken this as a
Mm-hmm.
reference.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, with whatever the
Mm.
batches I have taken count. This
Okay.
one is batch 1 and batch 2.
Mm-hmm.
If the batch 1 is equals to 1, then the output will goes to one end, and if the batch is equals to 2, then it will go to the other end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the logic looks fine. JSON splitter and everything.
Yes.
Can you just close it out and show me the output of JSON splitter? Okay. Okay, this is fine, but same problem again. As I said to Seshan,
Yes.
so what if I have uploaded 100 records file now? Will it go?
Yes. No, sir.
It won't split into two equal halves. It will split, but it won't split into two equal halves, right?
Yes. Yes, sir.
So if you put 25 there, 25 divides 100, it's 4. So
Yeah.
you will get 4 batches out of it. So it won't be a equal, equal sized file.
Yes. Yes.
Our requirement is to just split it out. But as I said, this is fine. This works for 50 record file. This is fine.
Yeah.
But it should be, as per our requirement, it should be equally split out and send it to two different destinations. If there are four batches, we won't be able to send it equally, right? Uh,
Yes.
when you have used count, you have only routed count equal to 1 and 2. So
Yeah,
what
yeah.
two batches will go, like
Yes.
first 20, first 50 records. The other 50 records will be gone in vanish. I mean, they won't be available anywhere. So
Yes.
that is fine. I mean, you gave it right. That's
Yeah.
good, actually. I mean, it's just need to be enhanced from the solution. That's it.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, uh, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Ashwini.
Yeah, hi Manoj.
Yeah. Just a second.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got this.
Mhm.
This visible?
Mhm. Yeah.
Actually, I have do the same, Manoj. I'm all, who also using the mapper here to count the number of entry.
Mhm.
So after further, I'm yeah, scrolling like that. So I
Mhm.
found here how many entity in my
Mhm.
data. So here is 283. So I'm putting a static value as a 142 yeah group size. Because of that, you have asked into the task divided yeah by two only. So at that scenario, we have to yeah do like this.
Divide by two in the sense it should be acceptable for any set of records, right? I mean, if you have four records, you will divide them into two.
Mm.
Then output will be two, isn't it? Two batches.
So at the that scenario, we have to yeah divided
Mm.
by two. So I'm using like that. So two entities is there. I found it, and after I copied it and using the head snap. So in the head snap, I'm using like that. So skip zero and count the first, and the second one skip first and count second. So in that sense, I have got with the first array here is 1 to 153,
Mhm.
and in second I found uh, after yeah 153 to 280 three either
Okay.
283.
So, as I said, your solution should be generic. Now it is
Hmm.
working for somewhere 317 records or something.
Hmm.
What if I put 500? So it won't work, right?
Yeah.
If I give you a task, it should
Hmm.
be in a generic way. The file should be acceptable or logic should be acceptable for every set of records. See, as a developer, if you develop something, it should not be changed every file, I mean, every time on a file basis, right? So, for example, we are doing it on a file. So,
Hmm.
at some point of time, maybe in the second run itself, customer has put around 200 records now. Now
Hmm.
again, you have to come back to your code and change it, that static value, right? So
Hmm.
that's what the actual logic is. I mean, splitting it into two equal halves or divide by two, both are equal. If you understand me correctly, split
Hmm.
into two halves or divide by two are equal. For most of you to let you understand, I said divided by two so that they will be able to understand also, because don't have, I mean, many people doesn't have
Hmm.
IDX. So both of them are same.
Hmm.
So anyway, I mean, the one that you have tried it out is good. You don't necessarily have to use heads and everything, but you tried it out. That's fine. I mean, you tried to use most of the snaps. That is fine.
Hmm.
I will let you know the solution. No worries.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Thank you.
yeah, yeah. Anyway, good try. Anyone else who has given a try? Maybe that is fine. I mean, you just need to. You don't have to complete the pipeline. I just want to see that logic, initial logic, how you are trying to split. That's it. Manohar, you said you have tried. So where did you stuck?
Yes, sir. After router,
Mm-hmm.
firstly I started with file reader and then CSV parser.
Mm-hmm.
Then I gave a group by and snap. So
Okay. What
then
is
router, sir. Sir,
what is the amount or the count?
50 records, sir.
Okay. So everyone has that problem of dividing it, right? I mean,
Yes, sir.
you guys are giving the, the static code.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, let me uh, go ahead and let you know. I'm sharing my screen. Can you see my screen, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. This is the pipeline name. Let me just go ahead and take uh, the same source. So everyone, what they are trying to do is they are trying to use either mapper or how many number of records we have here? 50. So either mapper or group by in here. So did you think of putting a router here and keeping them empty? What if I keep the values empty? If I have 50 records from friend, what it will do?
It's work as a copy.
It won't. It actually split the records into two equal halves.
Okay.
I told you when I am explaining you the router also. I have kept like this and I said it won't fail, but instead it will just divide the records into two equal halves, right? For your reference, I'll just try to put sorting so that we will be able to identify it correctly. Let me just put some ID here. Splitting is the main logic, correct? I mean, in our task, splitting the records into two equal halves is the main task, isn't it? So here the number started at 101. Here it has 100. I said I just want to split it out the records into two equal halves. I did not say which record should go to which batch, right? I did not say that divide employee ID by 2 and then only even number record should go to batch 1 or even number odd number should batch go to uh, uh, you know the destination 2. So that's not our requirement. I only said divide the complete group into 2 or divide by 2, right? So that I don't worry about the records of each destination. Instead, I just want to understand or divide them into two equal halves, right? Did I do it or not now? Am I able to do it or not? Question to everyone.
Yes, sir.
So now I use group by n. There is no, I mean, it's not necessary that we have to put sort here. I have just put it out for you just in case, I mean, if you want to understand. So the complete 25 records has gone into 3 because the group size is 10. I want to put 0 here. right? It has turned everything into a single array JSON objects, and the 25 records has come here. And then I use copy. I use union. Okay. Then CSV formatter. I don't require to use copy also. Directly CSV formatter here and here, and then file writer. Why they have failed here?
Data should be flattened.
Correct. Makes sense. So here this will contain one batch which has 25 records. If you see, the line stopped at 26. Header also will count it as one. So that's where 20. Actual data is 25 records with header 26. Same here. So 26 records. First record as considered the header as one record. So total 26. Along with header, a total of 26 records will be stored into a file. Any questions?
Actually, Manoj, when you talk about the divided by two, so here we got the even and odd series. So divided by two is a totally different from like that. So at that scenario, we have to find the first
If
ID and second ID for the into an other file.
See, if you go back to session I told you, or the task, the question that I gave you, divide the group into equal batches or divide them by two. That's what I said, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So did I ever say that you have to take a specific column and divide them by two? I mean, like you have done earlier, even
Hmm.
in odd batches, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So did I say in the previous class that you have to divide or take each column and then divide them? I mean, divided by two or something you have to do? No. I
Hmm.
said divide the group into two equal batches, right?
Yeah.
So you have gone with the question, that is correct, but you have stuck at there,
Hmm.
divide them into two equal halves, right? So in this process, you forget that there is a snap that will be able to do it, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
So you have to split the records. That's the requirement for us.
Hmm.
So if you are able to put it 142 or 140 out there, why weren't you able to come to this snap? Because we have already discussed this. And Prashant, you have done this already in your, in your example. I have seen you have used this router to just split it out into two equal halves. On batch one to one view and the batch two to other view, right? Without giving any condition there. People have used in dot count, snap dot in dot count, and then they have provided the condition. but you have used it directly without giving the condition, correct?
Substantive.
Second, yeah, sorry.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So you could have think, I mean, you're almost there actually. You could have
Mm.
think that putting the router at last, instead of that, you could have moved it off before the parser. I mean, this will come with the experience. I'm not saying you have done something wrong. First thing, I mean, I will ask you to understand the question basically. I'm not asking you to split or divide them based on any column. First thing you need to remember. I have asked that complete data set which is coming, divide them into two equal halves or divide by two, right? And then go forward and write it into two different destinations, isn't it? I mean, it's just a simple one, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you are almost there. I mean, everyone, you gave your try. Just the thing is that, is there any other snap that we can do? That's what you have to think. That's it. Nothing much.
Okay, Manoj. So can we do like that? Yeah, divided by two means top 25 record into the first and second 25 record into the second by using the router.
Yeah, I think we can give it a try. Let's try it out.
Okay.
I will try here itself. I'm not sure. I think we can do it. Let's just give it a try. What we will get here.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't worry, I'm just trying to build a logic myself itself. Okay.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Okay. So there is a way that we can do, okay, but not like this. Actually, the main thing is with group by n, it won't take the input records actually. It will take the values from the pipeline parameters. It won't take the values from the input. So if I just toggle it, you won't be able to see the input. Even there, I wanted to pass this split count. So this will fail. Oh, let's see whether it works or not. See, cannot look up a property on a null value because group by n has this thing wherein it won't be able to take the value from the input, right? So we will be able to do it. Till now, what I am able to do, or I mean, are you able to get it? What I'm trying to do here, everyone? So what I have done here is, I will let you know this part. There is a snap that I need to explain before going to this. Okay, I'll let you know. So were you able to understand what I'm trying to do? I have given the count to just to understand how many records are there. I have taken the second route because I want the actual data. I don't want to tamper anything or change anything on the actual data. And I have used the tail snap because I want the last record. That's where the actual count is there, right? This is the total count. Last record will have the total count, isn't it? Right? So that's where I can apply this divided by 2 option. Right? That's where it will give me the splitted count. If I'm able to pass this split count to this grouping, my logic is done, isn't it? Correct or not? So,
Yeah.
but this is something extra. I mean, this is something extra that I have to build. Basically, there is this simple option where we can use the router and something like this. If you don't know, we can do something like this also. I will let you know one snap. I mean, based on that, we can achieve this also. I mean, we are not able to pass the input records, right? But we can pass the pipeline parameter to this. So let's say I have defined the parameter split count, and then I have given 25 here. It will be able to do it here. So pipeline parameter works. One thing you need to remember is pipeline parameter will work. The passing the value from input won't work. So if you can see, it has divided into equal halves, right? The only logic that where I have stuck is passing the value to this, right? Passing this value to the group by n snap. That is the place that I have stuck. Otherwise, I have my logic ready, isn't it?
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
So, are you able to get it? I mean, everyone. I mean, I'm asking. Seshank, Sushmita, and who else? I mean, Manohari, everyone.
Yes.
Yes.
Anyone else who want me to reiterate things on this logic? Are you able to get it? Why I have used copy instead of I have done this here? If I go and put it here itself directly, let's say I have not used the copy, I have used tail snap. Will I be able to get that 50 records from this source? No, right? I will only get the last record from this output. Correct? So that's where I have to take this logic out and then used a inner join. If I keep true and true, it will be a Cartesian join. Okay, task to you, or it is on you, that just go to Google and research about Cartesian join. Cartesian, Cartesian join. So if I put true and true, it will be a Cartesian join to this complete data set. If you could have heard Cartesian product in math, in maths, there is this concept called Cartesian product. So same applies here also, Cartesian join. So if you understand that Cartesian product, you will be able to understand what I have done here. So if I put true and true here, what will happen is complete data set from left to complete data set to right, it will do a multiplication. That is the actually that is the concept of Cartesian join or Cartesian product. So here how many records we have? 50. How many records are we getting it from here? One record. 50 into 1, how many records? 50 records. If I put true and true here, true and true or 1 equal to 1, both are same. If I put 1 equal to 1, even this is same. If I put true and true, even this is same. Not equal to, I mean, not only 1 equal to 1, 2 equal to 2, 3 equal to 3, right? Because they are gonna be true every time, right? Each record, it will process and check the condition here in the join to the left path and right path. Every time they say the same value, they will be able to process this logic, right? This will only work with the inner join. Don't try it out with left outer join or outer join. Make sense? This will do a Cartesian product of two data sets. So if there are 50 records, and for example, assume that there are 2 records out of here. Okay, it will make out of join, the output will contain 100 records because 50 records from this side, 2 records from this side, make it to 100 records. So if I apply group by n, that will be a different case. Actually, that won't suffice our requirement, but that will be a different scenario altogether. 2 into 50, 100. If there are 50 and 3 records from this side, 50 into 3, 150 records. So likewise, it will do the Cartesian product or multiplication of source 2, source 1 and source 2. To this join, input 0 and input 1, they will be in a Cartesian product and then will give you the values in the multiplication format. So there will be duplicated records also in this scenario, because that's the reason you have to be very careful when you are trying to put a Cartesian product. Every time ensure that there will be only one record according to the requirement. Okay, we will only be able to get the data set that is coming from the file or from the source. You should not be able to do it or multiply into twice or thrice. You shouldn't be doing that. Okay, you should not be doing that. You need to understand or keep your logic carefully, write it down in a way that it should not be tampering the input records. Instead, it should be giving the same record count. That's where I have used inner join with true and true, which will do the Cartesian product. And then I have used the group by n. It is not working because I have told you that input record count it won't take. But if you provide any value from the pipeline parameter, it will be able to understand. The group by n snap will be able to understand. Make sense? Any question?
Yeah, Manoj. Actually, when we here we achieve the something else, the right path and the left path we have to convert into a single file. So can we use union here, yeah, instead of join snap union?
Let me show you what will happen if I use union.
Okay.
It won't work for sure, but I'll just give you your option here. It hasn't failed, but if you see, these are the columns. Where is the split count here? Only the last record. If you see, it has given me altogether a different record. So after 140, there is no records here, but it has provided me 25 here. And there is no split count because, why? Because
Yeah, it is not
it
yeah
is not
multiplying those.
mapping, yeah, it is not mapping with every record.
Hmm.
So if I use mapper here, That's why you need to understand when to use union and when to use join. So if you see it has failed, why? Why it has failed? Split count was not found. It's only because union will give you the records in a way that left sequence will go top and the next sequence will go at down. That's what I said, right? It is doing the same thing. The left sequence is coming at top. What is the right sequence after this union? What is the right sequence after this union? The splitted count, right?
Yes,
So
it
it is giving me at down. But to map it or to use it, it should be matching or it should be multiplying with every record, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if I want to use it, it has to be mapped to every other record, isn't it? Otherwise, I cannot use it. I have to do some manipulations and everything, use the mapper and do something else, right? Put it to nulls or something. If I use union in that case. But only option I have is here is to use join with Cartesian product.
So Cartesian product, yeah, it is work as a ratio something.
What
So
is
1:1 your
Yeah,
or
it is
two is
like
to
that.
two.
2:2. Yeah. I mean, it will be every time. That's what I said. If I put true and true here, it will multiply the number of records that is coming from left to right. It will just blindly multiply. It won't consider any condition. Let's say if I provide employee ID here, what it will do? It will check for the column and then try to join, right? But if I put true and true, it will just blindly do this multiplication of output 0 to input 0 to input 1 of this join and give you the output. So in this scenario, you have to be very careful when you are trying to get multiple record sets from both the destination. Here there is no problem because only one record is coming out from this left right side or the downside stream. Even there are 50 records, 50 into 1, every time it will be 50. So my actual data set coming from the file doesn't have any problem here. Correct?
Okay. So in that scene, we can also do the triple and more than 4, 5 each times record.
Any number of, but only thing you need to remember is you should not be making it to happen in a or duplicated way. Like, don't multiply it twice or thrice or 4 times. Right?
It's make a as a duplicate
Your
value.
complete data will be lost and you will be in a ambush. Okay. Just make sure. I prefer or our suggestion is only use with the 2 inputs. That then only you will be able to get it right. Even if you want to do it at multiple times, use another join after this. Once you get this data set, okay, after this use another join and try to get or give the input to that join. Don't use this join itself. You can do it, but what it will happen is, first, if you have provided 4 inputs, let's say, first it will try to multiply with 1, 2, 3, and second it will come and multiply with this one, this one, this one. Third will go and multiply with this one, this one, this one. It will be like all this record will go and match with all the 3 record data sets coming from inputs and multiply with them. So it will be like whole lot of set of records you will be getting.
So multiplying with the right to left or something else.
From right path to left path.
Yeah.
Right. And then if you are providing it with, if I have to change it here, right? This should be also left path and this is also right path. Right. So if I give true here, it will be considered as this, correct?
Yeah.
And then there will be another input 2 also. There will be output 1. So if I join these both, what it will do? First record set with the second. First record set with the third. That will be a lot of mess actually.
Yeah.
So the main suggestion, I'm not saying you cannot do it, but if you want to do it likewise, use the Cartesian join. The thing that you have to remember is use it in a different join. Maybe use another join after this. Try to join this data. Once you get the join data of this data, okay. first what it will do is it will perform this join. It will give you the output. Join the second or perform the second Cartesian join on this output, and then use join here, and then give this to here, and then you will be able to get it correctly. I mean, at some point of time, if you want to perform multiple Cartesian joins.
Okay.
Make
So
sense?
yeah, as I don't understand the Cartesian join, so I have to Google on that.
Hmm.
So my last question, as you say, we have to make it double triple at any times of the number. So at that scenario, we have also make it a half. Uh,
We
so
cannot.
when we
How can you make it half? It won't
when
only multiply. It won't divide.
So when we multiply is 0.5, it's make it half.
How can you make 0.5 records out of this? See, I am getting one record. How can you make it a 0.5?
Okay.
See, I'm talking about the records. I'm not. See, again, you are going back to something where, the number where you can divide
Hmm.
half or something. So you are just thinking in a wrong manner. So it's not the way. I'm showing you here on the record set.
Record section.
Record
Okay.
cannot be half. It will only be 1 or 2 or greater than 1. Right?
Hmm.
Greater than 0. It cannot be 0.1, 0.2. How can we split a record into 0.1, 0.2 or 0.5 even, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think in that manner. Just only think that record will be only one. I mean, one record, if we say, it will be one
Hmm.
record. There will be no half record or 3/4 record, right?
Okay.
So you just need to multiply. The only thing that you need to remember, or there is only thing that you need to understand about this Cartesian join is, or the Cartesian product is, from left to right, from input 0 to input 1, it will do a blind multiplication based on the record sets. It won't consider any column here. Based on the record set, okay, if the values coming from here is 50, and if it is 1, it will do 50 into 1. It can be vice versa also. If there is only one record coming up from here and 50 from here, 1 into 50, 50 records, 2 into 50, 100. Likewise, Cartesian product is something from left path to right path. It's just do the blind join or multiplication of those records. Make sense? It will be on a records, not on any particular column, only on records.
Sir, what is the purpose of this use, sir?
So earlier we have tried it with the union, right? Have you seen that? I mean, it has failed, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Because we are not able to map it out. The only reason is we are not able to get that split count value correctly to the record, or we were not able to match it correctly, right? If you
Yes.
use Cartesian join, what it will do is it will just add those record to the 50. So here, what it is doing, it has this split count value. It will just add this split count value to every other record coming from this side, and it will just make a perfect record or perfect join. So earlier, what we have seen, this split count is not added. When you have seen that union, I mean, while using union, 25 record or record with this 25 count has come at last, right? This whole split count column is empty, right? And then it
Yes.
has come at last, right? That is the problem. But the actual data set should be coming like this. If you are doing any join or something, the data that you are trying to match should be matched with every other record. Then only it will be able to process it. Make sense?
No. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Any other questions on this? Someone has any question? Okay. So you are able to identify this, I mean, understand this solution, how I am able to do it, right? Yes,
Yes,
no,
ma'am. Yeah.
with router. This I'll let you know. So until now, we are able to split it out. I mean, we have our split count ready. based on the total number of records, right? And we have the complete data set also ready. I mean, don't worry about this join and grouping also. So we have two open ends now, right? We have the data set, we have the count also. As group by n has this limitation of not able to process the input and can only process the values from the pipeline parameters, we have to think of a solution, right? Correct? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yeah. So for that, the solution for here is to split or to divide the logic into another pipeline. So the solution here is, as this is not able to process the records from the input, okay, it has to be divided into two pipelines. And then from the parent pipeline, if you say this is the pipeline where you actually, reading the source and everything, from parent pipeline, we should be able to call that other pipeline and complete our logic. Okay. Based on this, our requirement is to split the pipeline. Why do I need to split the pipeline? The only reason is group by and snap is not able to get the records from it. It can only be processed the values from the pipeline parameters. We have to use this child parent concept that I am speaking from day one, wherein now the day comes, now we have to apply that logic to able to process this or the task to get it completed. Okay. So now, what is the rest of the logic I have here? What is the rest of the logic I have? I have to group it, right? Once I have the group and then split it and then process it and then write it to file, right? Correct? So in that case, I will just go and, okay. I'll just create a child, another pipeline. What is the rest of the logic I have after this? What is the rest of the logic I have after this? I have to group it, correct? Then split it, write it. This is the rest of the logic I have. So I will put it here in this. Okay. After group by n, I will just again use router as Shashank has done it. I'll just do the same thing. Okay. Otherwise, we could have used mapper, as many of you do, in that snap.in.total count, and then route the logic based on count equal to 1, count equal to 2, and then apply the logic here. Right? Make sense?
Yes.
So now I have my half logic here and I have rest of the logic here. How can I combine these two? This is the question. How can I combine these two? There is a snap called pipeline execute. Okay, this is the snap where this will enable us to call the child pipeline. So now what I will do, what I have done earlier, what did I do earlier? Join and then true. Okay. Now here, as I said, I mean till here we know what will be the data, right? We understand what will be the data here. We know what it is, correct? Yes or no?
Yeah, yes.
Right? So the only thing is to combine these two pipelines, right? As I said, pipeline execute is the snap, executes Snaplogic pipelines and distribute documents to them. In the sense, it acts as a bridge between the two pipelines, wherein from one pipeline we can call the other pipeline. So in the settings, if you go to this pipeline, just click on this. What is the pipeline I have created? CH. See, this is the pipeline I have created. So if I just click on this, this will be called. Don't worry about these three options. Okay. Don't worry about the options. I will let you know. The other thing that we need to understand here is in the group by n, it will only process the values coming from the pipeline parameters, right? Is it or not? It won't process the values from input records. Instead, it only processes the records from pipeline parameters. So now I have gone to this and I have defined this in the child parameter. Okay. This parameter can be used here. So my actual logic lies here where I have the 25 as a split count is actually here. But I want to pass that value to this child pipeline. Now, how can I do it? There is this pipeline parameter section here also, like we have it in the parameter section in the pipeline. What we do is using those, if I click on the cloud symbol here, it will provide me the suggestions of the child pipeline if and only if we define any value there. How am I able to get it here? Because I have mentioned it here. Okay. If I just have a different parameter name here, save it. If I go here, see, I'm able to get that. How are we able to get this? Because we have mapped this exact pipeline name where we are changing the pipeline parameters here. We have mapped the same pipeline name, right? Here. That's where we are getting the same value here. So what I want is only split count. So what is the split count that we are getting? 25 from input, right? Able to get it?
Yes.
So here till here, we are able to get those records. Along with there is this split count, right? I want to just tweak my logic a bit because I just want only the record count. I don't want the exact records that I wanted to have because from parent pipeline I just wanted to pass only the records that I or the only split count that I wanted to process, right? So by this logic, what will happen? By this logic, what will happen? It only provides me the split count here of 25. I will just only pass that value to the pipeline execute snap, and my actual logic is coming up here. And then I have passed that split count value. That split count value will be passed through, save it, and then that will be processed here. So if I go and run it out, batch 1 CH, I will just put it as CH so that you will be able to understand. Underscore CH. This is batch 2. Right? So if I go and run it, it has been completed. Let me just run it again. Okay, it has been completed now. So now if I go to the main thing that I need to observe here is if I go to dashboard, the actual run what happened here, it will be here. So this is the last run that I have made. I have made 2 runs. This is the last run, right? This is the parent pipeline. If you click on plus, see it has called my child pipeline. The parent pipeline has called my child pipeline, right? Child pipeline. Child pipeline has the actual logic, wherein parent pipeline is only sending the document count, right? If I just go and open my manager, so here, I mean, here is already there, ch. So these are the 2 files, isn't it? These are the 2 files where it has split it out equal. Any questions on this? Any questions on the pipeline execute snap? Pipeline execute snap basically used to link the pipeline 1 to pipeline 2 or call a child pipeline. Basically, we call it as this as parent pipeline, where we are actually using this pipeline execute. We call them as parent pipeline, and the pipeline which is calling, which is called in this pipeline execute snap, we call it as a child pipeline. So this child pipeline, we are able to put the split count, and this split count is being processed from the parent pipeline. This split count is coming up from the source. So we have processed that, and we have given that logic here, where this is our actual logic, right? Every time you have to, every time what you are doing, you guys are doing, or you are just changing the value here, the static value. Now what we have done, this pipeline, we have made it as a child pipeline to this pipeline, where the divide by 2 logic we have applied, and then our pipeline is able to process it successfully by using this pipeline execute snap. This is called a child pipeline concept, wherein we provide the pipeline name and the parameter we want to pass it. This accept the value from the source or coming from the source. We have sent the 25 to this, and then it will process the 25 to this, and then it will just divide those values equally, right? Because we have set it out here 25. First 25 records one batch, second 25 records another batch, and then route it out. 0 will be on, one batch will go this way and the second batch will go this way, right? This is the purpose of pipeline execute snap. Any questions on this? Don't worry about this batch size, pool size. Just try and understand for now about this pipeline and the pipeline parameters. We will discuss when the time comes, but just try and remember this pipeline with the pipeline parameters.
Yeah, Manoj. Actually, I have 2 doubts. So because when we run our parent pipeline, so it is not necessary to run the child pipeline, because
No.
the parent pipeline.
Parent pipeline anyway calling this, right? This will
Call the
automatically
child.
call. See, this has already executed. So if I click on this, pipeline now, it will open the run statistics. Okay. So if you can see, this has also run. Can you
Okay.
see? Because we have run the parent pipeline, the child pipeline will also get executed automatically. If you want that, go to the dashboard, click on plus, and you will get the child pipelines here. If you click on that, it will show you green. It has automatically executed. So if you can see, I will just hover out and show you. This parse CSV has 50 records now, right? After that, from 50, it has done to 2.
2 doc. Okay.
That's the only logic that we want, right? That is our primary logic,
Hmm.
right? And that router, it's just an open router, right? It will
Hmm.
just process this way, and the other 25 records will go this way.
Hmm.
Make sense?
Yeah. So a parent has multiple child. So when we execute our parents, so at that scenario, the old child pipeline will be executed automatically.
Yeah, whenever you use pipeline execute and you provide that name here,
Hmm.
one
Hmm.
pipeline execute can execute only one child pipeline. Okay. If you
Hmm.
have multiple childs, you have to use multiple pipeline executes. If you
Okay.
use multiple pipeline executes in your
Okay.
pipeline and if you run it, it will automatically get executed because we are anyway linking it. I mean, that
Hmm.
whole pipeline logic is here in this one snap. This whole logic is here,
Hmm.
right? We just divided them into two equal halves or maybe different logics. That's it. Why
Hmm.
why I have to divide that into another logic? This would be enough if I know how many records are coming up from source. But
Yeah.
let's say if that record count is generic, as I said, if every time I am changing the file, having 100 records, 150 records, I cannot be sure or I cannot only use this logic, right?
Hmm.
I have to know what is the count if I want to split them equally. So for that reason, I have used this count and then tail to get the last record and then divide that, right?
Hmm.
Then I will get the split count. I mean, if it is 100 records file, the split count will be 50, right? Equal records will be splitted. I mean, 50 goes to one and 50 goes to other, isn't it?
Hmm.
Yeah. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there are other options also here. Don't worry about those. You have to, I mean, you need to know few things. You don't need to worry about any other things. I will let you know what is batch size, what is pool size. You don't worry about this all three. I will let you know execution label and execution on. Okay. If I tell you now, you will get confused, but I will take it slowly. You will be able to understand that. Okay. This is one of the major concept. If I say most of the times in every other pipeline, we will be able to see this scenario because only just to split it out, right? I have to use this logic. There is no other option for me. Correct. If I know this router option and everything, this is very fair enough, right? This will be done in a single pipeline. For some reason I cannot do it like this, or otherwise, I mean, as you asked Ashwini, I mean, I don't want, I want only first 50 records into second and the second 50 into second, because this router randomly splits those into two equal halves, right? So in that case I cannot go with this router logic also. I have to split this pipeline into two equal halves, right? And then use the pipeline execute snap to connect to this child pipeline and then execute it.
Hmm.
Make sense?
Yeah. So as you say, as the scene of the multiple child, we have to. So there is any snap of the multiple pipeline execution, or we have to add it into same.
Multiple pipeline executes. These snaps has to be copied multiple times. There are no,
Okay.
there is no snap where it can execute multiple child pipelines at a time.
Hmm. So in the adding parameters section, I
Mm.
have seen there. So multiple. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
multiple parameters you can add.
Hmm.
You cannot call multiple pipelines at a time because it
Okay.
has no option to call only a single pipeline.
Single pipeline. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's quite heavy. I understand. For you all to get it, I mean, to process how we are able to do it. Is just only for one requirement. I had to use this another snap. I hope you all able to understand what it is and how to use this pipeline and this parameter section. This cloud option will only be give you the suggestions until and unless you won't be giving this pipeline name, it won't give you the suggestion. You have to provide this name, and if there are any parameters, you have to define it prior itself without coming to here and asking for suggestions. You have to define it prior, and that parameter needs to be called here, and the process will be sending that value. Any questions? So on the task we have discussed on Friday, we were able to do it in couple of ways. One using router directly, right? It's a simple way. And the other one is having the count and split them into two equal halves. I mean, divide by 2 and send that count to the group by and snap in the child pipeline and then execute it. Any questions?
Yeah, no, actually, I was thought, so I'm going through again the recording session.
Yeah,
So
you have
yeah,
to. I mean, that's what
describe
I'm saying every time. You
me.
have to reiterate things. I mean, once we are done with this session,
Hmm.
you have to look at this and go to the previous sessions also. Then only you will be map it out. Right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, this is to everyone, not to a single person. This is to everyone. And I want most of you to get back with me with the solutions. I mean, at least you have to try. Then only you will get questions, right? So people have tried it with the static value that they have put it out with 25 or 142 or 50 something, right? Like others did. 4 or 5 people they are doing every time and they are coming up with questions or solutions. But I want this from everyone. Then only we will be able to explore multiple options, right? So based on that, we were able to see two solutions now. One using a direct router and other one using another snap. Without you trying, will I be able to let you know the solution? No. I would have had a different thought to let you know pipeline execute at some point of time. But based on the task I have given, as you have asked me to give me another solution, that's where we went to this another pipeline, I mean, another snap, right? With the scenario, with the actual scenario. So whenever you come and challenge me again with a different solution, you might ask me, then only you will be able to understand more, right? Make sense? Any questions? Shall we go for a task then? So
Yeah.
by this, I'll take a halt. So I hope you got the two solutions also, everyone, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the task is very simple. Okay. Perform. Okay. See, there is another thing that I am telling you on the pipeline execute snap is it acts as a for loop also. See, it will call the child pipeline number of times based on the input document. So let me share my screen again. What I'll tell you what it is. So I have run it like this, right? So what I'm telling you now is based on the input, it will call the child pipeline that number of times. To show you example, now the input for this snap is one record, right? Then the pipeline execute has executed only once because the input on this record or input for this snap is 1. Let's say I have provided this, I mean, the logic will be gone. I mean, I have put it 2, so that will be a different scenario. So if you see, the number of records that I have provided out of this is 2, right? Correct? So if you see, mapper also given us the values as 2 records. So as I said, the pipeline execute will execute the child of the pipeline based on the inputs. So here I have given 2 records, right, in the tail snap. So as far as I said, you should be able to see two executions of a child pipeline in the dashboard. So this is the latest run. I have made at 9:17. If you see this, till before, there is only one child execution. This is a duplicated call, that is fine. But I am showing you now how the pipeline execute behaves when there are multiple documents. So I am saying that also key, it will act as a loop. It could be a for loop, while loop, or whatever. This is one of the looping that we do using a pipeline execute snap. Make sense? Based on the input, it will execute the child pipeline that many number of times. So if I just make it to 3, it's not only with tile and something. I mean, I'm just showing you an example. Don't take it as standard that we can only be able to do it like this. No, you will be able to do it many number of ways. I'm just showing you a basic example how pipeline execute will behave if there are multiple inputs provided to that. So now I have given 3 documents. Now, if you click on this, if I go here, see it has executed the child pipeline 3 times. Questions? Any questions? It's just simple that based on the input, the pipeline will execute the child pipeline that many number of times. If only one record has gone to that, it will only execute one time. But if there are 3 or 4 or 5 records that has been gone, it will execute that many number of times. The child pipeline will execute that many number of times. So even if you see any looping concept in any programming language, even in JavaScript, what it will do based on the input size, if it is a for loop, if we provide the input as 10, it will execute that inner statements of the loop 10 times if the value is 10, right? Yes or no? If you know the for loop or any looping construct, it will be looping through the contents of that inner block that many times, right? It acts as same. Pipeline execute takes the input from the inference snap. It will execute that many times the child pipeline. Make sense?
Yes.
Right? Questions? Okay. That makes sense? So, so as I told you, as I have given a brief on the pipeline execute snap, I want you to all to explore it, and I want you to do a simple task. Perform me the multiplication operation using pipeline execute snap. Maybe, I mean, any logic, do it in your own way. Okay. Multiplication logic in the sense, if I provide 2 inputs or maybe 1 input as 2, it should give me all 2 table from 1 to 20. I mean, 2 into 1 equal to 2. Likewise, I mean, it doesn't need to give me that format. Finally, it has to provide me the output. If I give the input as 2, okay, it should give me the values of 2 table. Make sense? Any questions on the task? You have to use the pipeline execute for this and divide the logic into 2 different pipelines. Child pipeline should give me the values, write them into a file, okay, final file, one file, wherein if I provide the value as 2, then it should print the values of, or write the values into a file, the 2 table values till 20. If I provide 3 table values or 3 multiplication values, right? It's just a simple task. Okay, I'm not going anything deep, just a simple task. By doing this, you will be able to understand more on the pipeline execute snap. Okay, don't confuse yourself. It's just a simple multiplication that you have to do. If I provide the input to any of the snap, maybe in a pipeline parameter, okay, if I provide 2, it will give me the, or it should give me the values of 2 table till 20. Use the pipeline execute snap for this. You can also do it directly, but I want you all to do it with the pipeline execute snap. Loop it through that many times, call the child pipeline that many times using a pipeline execute snap, okay, and provide me the table values. I mean, if it is 3 table, give me that till 20, 4 table, 5 table, anything. Any questions? Everyone clear, or anyone has any clarification, or anyone need any clarification on the question, on the task?
No, I'm good. So because I'm little bit hanged here. So yeah, I will try my yeah best. I'm not sure I'm come with the final result or not.
No,
So I'm trying my best.
I'm not expecting the correct solution, or you want me, or you want to come with a correct solution every time. Okay, I want you to try and then
Yeah,
understand how you can do it. Right? It's the first time you cannot do it directly. I understand that. I'm
yeah.
not asking you for the solutions. You have to try it out. If possible, come with me with the solution. That's it. I want everyone to try first.
Okay.
Get your brains into work and get me the solution with the pipeline execute. I am giving you the snap also. You can do it directly also, right? This task is so easy. You can do it directly without using a pipeline execute snap. But I want you all to do it with pipeline execute snap itself, so that you will be able to understand how that looping works. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that loop can be possible using this snap, pipeline execute snap. That's the only reason. Make sense to everyone? Any questions on the today's class on pipeline execute snap and the two logics that we have discussed? Okay, if no one has any question, I think Prashant, we can wind it up.
Okay, Manoj. Thank you, team. Thank you, Manoj.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. Thanks, Manoj. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.